So the first on-air shift I did was overnights from us. So basically started at midnight of Sunday morning, so Saturday night, Sunday morning. And the first thing I did was read the news, and I wish I kept a copy of the tape that I had because I know it wasn't very good, but I croaked my way and stumbled my way through the newscast, 5 minutes, finished with the weather, hit the jingle, and the first song I played, and some would think it's rather ironic, the first song that I played on my show ever was Everybody Loves a Clown by Gary Lewis and the Playboys.
Oh, yeah.
So they sold the stations or the properties. And I guess as things happen, you get purges and they let go of people and downsize and do what have you. So in 1997, I found myself, the first real career struggle. What do I do? And then from that, I had heard rumblings that then it became known as 820 Cham was going from kind of a country to kind of a network talk thing. They were involved with the station in St. Catharines.
Right.
So I talked to people there and I said, look, I've done, talk shows and sports shows and what have you, not knowing what they had in mind. So what they had in mind was to have me based at CAM and do network updates for the station in St. Catharines, kind of a syndicated thing.
Mm-hmm.
That never panned out. But from that opportunity to do news, I went from there. I went to work for about a year or so at 680 News Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
which was an absolute eye opener. The expression goes, if you can handle the pressure at 680, you can handle anything, and that's true. And then from there, at 680, another station opened up here in town, which no longer exists, and that was Wave 94.7. The smooth jazz station. I was given the unique opportunity to be news director and morning newscaster at a brand new station in my hometown, an opportunity that doesn't come up that often.
No.
As it turns out, the station was an absolute disaster. We had no listeners. The format didn't work. But for 3 years, I honed my craft. And then from there, worked for the Tiger Cats, and Bob Young took over. The first year, worked there for 6 months as media.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then from there, I thought, you know what? I really missed the other side more than I thought I would. So from there, long story short, the opening came up at CJML. I started on, ironically, Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, 2004, and I've been here ever since. Our industry, in many ways, led the pack when it came to consolidation, when it came to stations being sold. The CRTC, in infinite wisdom, one of the worst things, in my opinion, was allowing duopolies and consolidations, because that basically means a lot more is now being done under one roof. There's not the opportunity for people to work in different stations in different markets under different ownership. So the industry has changed a lot, as we know. A lot of great people have lost jobs, and I'm certainly not saying that this is the way people should go about learning their craft, but I'm convinced that everybody should lose their job at least once to prove and show to themselves and others what they're made of, because that forces you to reevaluate what you're doing, maybe reinvent yourself. I did, and I was fortunate enough that lasted here for 17 years. December 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were, I thought about it last year, retiring, but then of course COVID wreaked havoc. And there's no good time, there's no bad time. But I thought, you know what, I talked about it at length with my wife and other family members, and I thought, you know what, let's just do it now. Give them enough time to decide what they want to do, and then take it from there. That all started several years ago. I was on a training run with a friend of mine who worked in the wellness department at St. Joe's. And we're out for a run, and we're just talking about wellness and physical stuff. And I said to her, during a run, I said, you know what? I've always wanted to do a show where I combine mental and physical wellness. She actually stopped dead in her tracks. And I turned and, what's the matter? Did you hurt your shows? I've been waiting 15 years for a series like this. From that, the seed was planted. I went to my program director, Jeff Story, said, I got an idea for a show. That seed became known as West Wednesdays. We were in the studio every week talking to experts, talking to people with real life experience. And I ended up getting an award from the Governor General, a National Media Award. But as gratifying as that was, why I continued to do the show is because of the number of people that have reached out to me and have told me in so many words that the show saved their family member's life. And I take that extremely serious. And I thought, that is now what I want to do. So that's how it started. This thing has just snowballed. It's skyrocketed. It's become more popular than I ever thought it would be. And my plan, even after December 15th, I'm stepping down full time, but I still want to continue doing the wellness show and other things going forward. I mean, as a runner, I just, I always wanted to do the Bay Race at some point. I did the 5K, and CHML became a corporate sponsor of the event. So several years ago, Jeff Story kind of voluntold me. He said, you know what, we need to form a team and raise money. He said, Ted, you're the captain. That. So from that, we raised $77,000 in 7 years, our team. One of the fun things we did, they had me one year as it was a Chiefs challenge. It was myself and rest in peace Police Chief Brian Mullen,
Right.
who were the front people, raising money, having fun. Well, race day came. Mullen is about, now understand that Brian and I went to high school together and graduated, so there's a little bit of friendship there. The race started, and I was probably 20 or 30 or 40 meters out. I turn around and Mullen's just basically getting started at the start line. And I was at one point running backwards saying, is that all you got? And I think that there was an expletive thrown in by Mullen at me at that point. So I just kept going. And ironically, the year after that, Chief Glenn DeCare decided that he would challenge me. And we had the race, and I beat him by a couple of strides. And I don't know if he was angry, but apparently the next day at his meeting with his management team, he said, I will avenge Hamilton Police for losing to Ted Michael. So he, for the next year, trained extremely hard because he was miffed that he lost to me. I've asked people who have taught at Mohawk, for example, what do you tell them? All I tell you, John, from my own standpoint, is those of us that were in my group, my class, for example, Connie Smith, Bill Kelly, we all started at Mohawk in the same year. Those that really wanted to succeed had the drive to go do the extra stuff that was required. I understand jobs change through the industry, and they're doing a lot more with the video work and with online streaming and stuff. But I still believe the harder you work, the luckier you become.